Welcome to the Go Procast, where we invite business doers who are changing lives by sharing their stories, their strategies and tactics, and who bravely talk about their failures that actually led to their biggest successes. Now it's time to Go Pro with Jeremy Torres. I have been a fan of this next guest, who is the founder and host of Next Level University, a global top 100 self-improvement podcast with more than 850 episodes, reaching over 500,000 people in more than 100 countries. Alan believes in a heart-driven but no BS approach to inspiring, motivating, and educating others on what it really takes to get to the next level. At age 2, the unthinkable happened. His father passed away in a car accident. And then at age 26, he tried to repeat that feat by getting into his own nearly fatal car accident, which left him questioning everything. That experience made Alan question who he was and the choices that he was making. Now, Alan is on a mission to help others maximize their potential and design lives and business they love on their own terms. Please welcome to the Go Procast, Mr. Alan Lazaros. What is going on, my friend?
Jeremy, I really appreciate the thoroughness in your intro to your podcast. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
You know, you make the work easy because you really are up to so many things. You got your fingers in a lot of pies, so they say, and I kind of resemble that comment because we do the same thing here, and I think that's why when I see what you do, I kind of just really gravitate toward the stuff that you're doing. So first things first, I always start off the show the same way. I stole it from a friend of mine, Steve Noodleberg, from the name of his podcast, and by asking, tell me something good.
Tell you something good. The only thing that comes to mind when you say tell you something good is making good choices. I feel like I'm making more positive choices in my life now than I ever have. I feel more aligned and optimized than I ever have been. And I'm extremely fulfilled. I'm more fulfilled than I ever have been. So I think that's what's good. I'm super, super grateful, healthy, happy, productive. And that's really good. And that has not always been the case.
What else could you ask for? You know,
Exactly.
You're like a health, body, soul, mind billionaire. You know, that's what I call these things because I forget who it was, somebody recently, and it's probably been around forever, but I just saw it recently. You know, they say, what if I gave you, $10 million? How would you feel? And everyone says, I'd feel great. Nothing could get me down or nothing could get you down. No matter what, all day long, you'd just be walking on feathers, right? You wouldn't let anyone really get in your space. If I had $10 million, no way, there's no possible. All right. What if I told you that if I gave you $10 million today, you wouldn't wake up tomorrow. Would you take it? And they were like, well, of course I wouldn't take it. No. Okay, well then why would you be anything less than happy and excited and crazed and not let anything get to you if you value waking up more than $10 million? And then the light goes on, So the value of what you just said, we could be done now, right? You just kind of, you said so much there. Tell me how you got there. I mentioned in the intro about your dad passing so young. What kind of impact did that have on you growing up?
Yeah, huge impact, more than I realized at the time. So I'm 33 now, and so just keep in mind that when I tell you this, I'm reflecting and connecting the dots now in hindsight from this higher sense of awareness, whereas going through it, I didn't really understand it at this level. So when I was 2 years old, my father passed away in a car accident when he was 28 years old. I had a stepdad from age 3 to 14. My stepdad left at 14. And the very first part of my story, I like to start with this. My mom gave me the best lesson that I've ever gotten, and still the best lesson to this day, which is wild because I've learned a lot since then.
Yeah.
She sat me down when I was 7. She said, Alan, you can be a CEO or you can be a farmer. I'm going to love you either way. But if you aim high and you go for CEO, you can wake up one day and decide to be a farmer, but it does not work the other way around. And so I think in hindsight, my mom with 2 kids and having her husband pass away at such a young age, she felt like she didn't have choices. So she said, Alan, aim high.
Yeah.
And life is about choices.
Yes.
So best lesson I've ever gotten right there. And that is still to this day, like my lesson on this show right now, like aim high for whatever that is for you, and you will have more choices. Choices are a byproduct of you becoming more, and your life won't improve until you improve. And I didn't realize that at a young age. I grew up in some environments that, let's just say, personal development and self-improvement were not common.
Right.
It was very the opposite. It was a pleasure-centered paradigm of life is about having fun.
Wow.
And while I think that's an important part of the chicken soup of life, I do not think it should be the main paradigm.
No.
I think fulfillment should be. Right?
You ever watch the show Shameless?
I haven't.
Oh wow, it's on Showtime. It's a great show, but it's full of debauchery in that family, just drug addicts and alcohol, and nobody's watching out for anyone. That's my house. That's the house I grew up in, so I can connect with you on that level too. So going through the house of pleasure, so to speak. Was it the car accident, and was it because of result? Were you out there, hauling ass and not really valuing your life and taking life, living life for each day and just, life in the fast lane? And is that what did it for you?
So when I was 26, I got in a bad car accident, and I usually during my speeches, I'll show my dad's car and I'll show my car because they didn't look very different.
Wow. Isn't that freaky?
Yeah, it's wild. And for me, especially because I grew up my whole life hearing stories about John, my dad, and no one ever talks about how he died except for me. Right. Everyone else talks about how he lived. And so that's a lesson in and of itself. But after that car accident, I found 2 things that I'd never seen before. The first one is a book by a woman named Bronnie Ware, and she's from Australia, and she worked in hospice for 8 years with the terminally ill. And she wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And over the 8 years in hospice, she thought her job was to take care of these people, when in reality, what her calling, she realized, was to write this book of like, listen, these people, all from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different households, different upbringings, different careers, they all had the same exact regrets. To this day, I have a flashcard in my pocket with all 5 regrets on them. The number 1 regret of the dying is I wish I had lived a life true to myself and not what others expected of me. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm very blessed. Car accident was at 26. I'm 33 now, and now I coach people all over the world, and I've got 20 clients right now, business clients, and that's not including my girlfriend and I have relationship coaching as well, but all different backgrounds.
You are way ahead of the curve on every level, man. I'm so impressed.
I appreciate you, man. I really do. It's wild because for a long time I was coaching for free with just a couple people.
I just turned 50. And I think I just became like in my lane like 6 months ago.
Exactly.
And I think I'm ahead of the curve.
Honestly, I think you probably
I'm very proud of you. What would you say you have the most fun during your day? Because I want to touch on the podcast too, because you and Kevin have a podcast. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'll make the screen bigger and show everyone your podcast and tell everyone. But where do you spend the best hour of your day when you wake up in the morning? What's that?
First hour of my day is actually writing my book.
But what do you look forward? Which hour of the day is the one that turns you on?
Weight training.
Weight training. Gosh, that's where you and I go boop, opposite. I think weights are too heavy. I don't lift them at any cost. My wife and my daughter, they're both gym rats. We have a huge gym in our house, but I hate weights. But I did martial arts for a long time, so calisthenics are my friend, right? Push-ups, sit-ups, so whatever, the bands. But I can appreciate that. Is it because you are alone and can kind of take some aggression out, listen to some loud music, and also center yourself and push yourself physically?
Yeah, I think it's all of those things. It's the one time of the day where I'm not serving anyone else.
Yes,
and
you do, yeah.
Yeah, it's just for me, and it's definitely a beautiful recentering of what I value, which is challenge and maximizing my potential, really. And I also grew up a really lanky, skinny kid, and so having muscles is really nice now.
Yes, right. I've always been kind of I always say round is a shape,
You're in great shape, perfectly round. Yeah,
round is a shape too, but I live happy. I think that being in shape is 80% diet and 20% working out. So I just forego the working out for the most part, and I pay a little more attention to the 80%. So I'm a huge intermittent faster. So I only eat
Same.
4 hours of every day for the most part.
Same.
Weekends a little bit more, but I keep my weight, 230, 240. But I was 280 before, so I brought that way down by intermittent fasting and hardly working out at all.
I do IF as well every day.
Yeah, it's really healthy and it's good for the mind.
Same.
So tell me whatever you want to talk about, because we don't have a lot of time together on this particular show, but I do want to let you kind of use this forum to touch the kind of people who we have business doers who believe in coaching, who believe in growing 1% better every day, and they just want to hear about you and to be turned on to you and start listening and following you. So what do you want to let them know about how, what are you looking for? What kind of clients are your favorite kind of clients, or, that kind of thing?
I appreciate it, Jeremy. I really do. So the only thing that I can answer with that always comes down to your life will not improve until you improve. There's not a single person out there at this point, right? Podcast.
You're gonna wear out my fire graphic here, because that's badass.
I appreciate it. So 870 episodes, interviewed world-class performers from all over the world, clients from all over the world, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different industries, different businesses. So you just start to notice. I surpassed my 1,000th coaching call, and I track all my numbers. So I know how many speeches, I know how many coaching calls, I know how many team huddles, I know how many podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And I'm coming up on 1,000 on all of them.
Yeah.
So my point of that.
How long though? When did you start?
Oh, I started after that car accident. So 26.
So 5-ish. 5 years or so.
Probably like seven or 8
Okay.
years. Yeah. But the reason why I say that is because I just noticed these patterns. Everyone on earth, from no matter what country that I've met, no matter what industry, no matter what career, everyone struggles with making positive choices in their life. There's no one that I know who has it all together.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
And so we break it up into 3 things: health, wealth, and love. And so this is my spiel, and this is what Next Level You is about. Next Level You is, first of all, no matter who you are or where you are, no matter what your past has been, there's always a next level. No matter how successful or how unsuccessful, no matter how fulfilled or how unfulfilled, there's always a next level. You're never going to be at 100% of your true potential, but you can always get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And so we are self-improvement in your pocket every single day from anywhere on the planet, completely free. We do an episode a day, and our thing is about holistic self-improvement. I know some people that are healthy that are not wealthy. I know some people that are wealthy and healthy, but they're not in love. I know some people that are in love, but they struggle with their health and their finances. So we believe in holistic self-improvement. So health, wealth, and love. Health is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Wealth is how you make your money. In other words, do you love what you do? How much do you make? Is that increasing or decreasing, and at what rate? And then where do you invest your capital? So that's wealth. And then love is your intimate relationship, your immediate family, business partners, mentors, mentees, clients, customers, friends, family, extended family, all things relationships. Health, wealth, and love. Those are the major things in life that matter. And so many of us are distracted constantly by all these trivial things, and we're neglecting the majors. And so if you don't feel healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if you don't feel wealthy or on a trajectory of wealth where you have more than enough abundance to provide for yourself and your family, and if you don't feel like your relationships are fulfilling, then Next Level You is for you. And I'm, genuinely obsessed with getting better every second of every single day. Yeah.
I believe you mean it, and I believe that. So what do you think the most important, if you had to pick one of those to start with, what would affect the other 2 more?
The most important is what you focus on. So listening to the podcast or listening to personal development is the first step. I mean, if you and I, Jeremy, were to just watch the news every day versus read a good personal development book every day, those are 2 drastically different lives a decade from now. And there is no exception to that. I mean,
you're absolutely right. Hell, 2 months from now.
Right, exactly. And if you want to make chocolate cake, you probably shouldn't make chocolate cake with cement. So you're not going to have a rich, dynamic, positive life if you're constantly bombarded with toxicity and information that, quite frankly, is outside of your control anyway. So to answer your original question,
yeah,
you got to start with personal development. You got to start with podcasts like this or something that's going to inspire you every day.
Inspiration mindset. And so I call it, we were talking about intermittent fasting. That's consuming calories, consuming vegetables versus consuming sugars, starches, all that stuff is calculated. The same thing happens to your eyes, your ears, and your heart. You know, what you're consuming, who you're allowing to listen to, watch, and absorb that energy. And it does go out exponentially and affect every other thing in your life. So if I had to say, pick sort of I don't know, what are your favorite episodes when you're interviewing people? What kind of people are the most fun or the most interesting? Like, where do you get your knowledge from? Because I didn't graduate high school, I didn't go to college, I was homeless as a kid. I was homeless again at almost like 39 years old because I lost so much on a business. But really, starting over and over and over again and over again was a theme for me. And so I say I have a knowledge education. And what's your best, kind of guest that you have on it you learn the most from?
We like to have people who walk more than talk. And it's interesting because we do health, wealth, and love. And so we always try to keep people in their level, their lane of expertise. So, for example, Jeremy, there are certain things that, let's say we talk calculus. Like, I was the guy who never went to class, got straight A's, right? I should be teaching you calculus, not the other way around.
Right.
But there's something in life that you know way better than me. You've mastered it to a greater extent. You're more knowledgeable and have more experience. So if it's me and Bill Gates, I'm going to be asking him about business, not the other way around.
Right.
So to answer your question, there are so many different guests that we've had that are magnificent, but we always keep them in their lane of expertise because I want to understand the universe and myself and the human condition at the deepest level. And the only way to do that is to learn from the experts and pick their brain in their genius zone. I don't know anything about cars. You shouldn't ask me about cars. What'd you say?
I think it was before the call. You mentioned your genius zone, and I love it. So that's a great term. I'm probably going to steal it.
Oh, for sure. Please do. I got it probably somewhere as well.
Of course.
Everyone has a genius zone. I try to cherry pick that. I try to find their genius zone, and I try to learn as much as I can, extrapolate as much value as I can from their genius zone.
How long did it take to become a good interviewer?
Ooh. I mean, I'm still going on that. I'm still going on that process. It's interesting. That's like saying how long did it take for you to be a good basketball player? It's like you're never going to get to the point where you're the best basketball player you can be. Even Michael Jordan didn't have a perfect game. He just had better games than he used to have. So I would say I'm on the higher end of interview skills, but it takes years and years and years, and I'm still working on it every single week.
So that's good stuff, Ben. I love I think you said it, action over, talk, and I call it action over adverbs. And I just literally just made that up about 30 minutes ago on another call. Someone said, my actions are so loud, I can't even hear what you say. And that works both ways, good and bad. So where can we, other than, and let me put the websites up again, because that's kind of, especially the, it's going to be, and I'm going to, because I do a lot of podcast, Spotify and all that. They're not seeing this. I get lazy because this is for YouTube, but it's Alan, which is, and it's www.nextleveluniverse.com, because I think I said university on the intro. So it's nextleveluniverse.com. And in LinkedIn is Alan, Lazaros. Is it Lazaro?
Lazarus, but it's spelled with an OS instead of a US. Yeah.
Okay, with an OS, which is important. So Alan Lazarus on LinkedIn, good place to get a hold of you. And we appreciate your time coming here with us. I have to get better at kind of focusing and honing in on something and stretching it out, because I'm used to more doing like an hour. So I'm trying to get these just 30 minutes, and I'm having a tough transition. So I'm going to learn a lot from you and Kevin, and I'm jumping on the bandwagon, man. I'm excited for what you guys do.
I appreciate it, Jeremy. Thank you so much. And I'm grateful that we're so far along that you actually considered a bandwagon. I like it.
Yeah,
Jump
well,
on the train. Jump on the train.
I'm on, babe. I'm on team. I'm on Team Allen for sure. So let's get these things going all the same direction and help as many people as we can.
Amen to that. Amen to that. That's always the goal.
All right, stick around for half a second. Let me just say goodbye to my peeps. I appreciate every single one of you listening here, watching here, supporting these channels. We're here for you. There's nothing I like more than bringing people on and talking about the things that you want. So please keep those comments coming, the suggestions, criticism. You know me, getting punched in the face is like what I do for a hobby. So bring it on. That's why Jay ain't right. So see you next week or next time. We're doing 3 a week now on the Go Procast.